Hello everyone. So students, now we are going to discuss the last topic of our first chapter review of Python basics, which is dictionary. So in the previous videos, we have seen the videos, we have discussed about strings, list, tuples and other basic constructs in Python such as decision making statements and loops and the basics like operators, expressions, everything else we have discussed. So this dictionary is the last topic, okay, of the first chapter, which we are going to discuss now. After that, we will continue with functions, which will be our first topic from the new syllabus. That is your chapter 2 of your syllabus. Okay. Now, first, let us discuss dictionary. So, what is a dictionary? A dictionary is an unordered collection of items where each item consists of a key and a value. So, up till now, we have seen many types of data types which are having sequence of values like list, arrays, list, tuples, and strings. And what was common in all these three types? That they were having sequence of individual values. Okay, like you could have a string as an element in a list, you could have a numerical value and an element in a list or a tuple, but what was there, these were not in pairs. Okay, these values were single values. Okay, these values were not key value pairs. But in the case of dictionary, what is there, every element or each item consists of not a single value but a key value pair. There is a key and there is a value. Okay, like in dictionary, what is there in English dictionary, there is a word and there is a meaning. Okay, so you can imagine the word as the key here and the meaning will be its value. If you try to establish an analogy between the two, English dictionary and the Python dictionary, you can establish the analogy as the word that is the key here and the meaning is the value. Okay, now it is mutable. It means that its contents could be modifiable. Okay, but key should be unique and immutable. It means that the values within the dictionary are mutable. They may be changed. Okay, for a particular key you may change its value. Okay, you would say the content or the value of any particular key could be changed, but those keys in itself are immutable. Okay, the keys in a particular dictionary can't be deleted or they can't be modified. Okay, they are immutable, they can't be changed, and secondly they are unique also. You can't have two keys with the same name in a dictionary. Okay, we can't have two keys with the same name in a dictionary. If there are two keys, then they will be unique in a dictionary. Okay, so this is the concept of a dictionary. Now how is a dictionary created? A dictionary is created by enclosing the items in curly braces. Okay, this is one unique method of defining the dictionary, which is different from the other data types. And each item is separated from other item by a comma. Okay, within each item, key and value are separated by a colon. So what is there? First of all, we have to understand that these values, these items are enclosed together in a curly brackets to create a dictionary, and the individual items are separated by a comma. Okay, and within each item the key and the values are separated by a colon. Okay, so you can understand it by a simple example. See, a dict is a dictionary. What is there, the two keys here are subject and class, and for subject we have the value informatic practices, and for class we have the value 11, and both these items are separated from each other by using the comma here. Okay, now accessing a list item, accessing is also very easy. Okay, first of all, if you specify it, if you take the example of the dict key, then what we can do, we can have three, we can actually access that in three ways using the print statement. If you specify the full string name, full dictionary name within the print statement, then what will happen, it will output the full dictionary, all the key value pairs as it is. By if you use the full key name, if the full dictionary name, if you specify the full dictionary name within the print statement, then it will output the full dictionary as it is shown in the first line of the output here. Here we have written print dict. See, here dict is the name of the dictionary. So if you specify the just the name of the dictionary without any specific key or without any specific function, without using any specific function, then what will happen, the full dictionary as it is will be printed in the output. But in the second print statement, what we are doing, we are writing here dict, then within a square bracket we are specifying the key here. So when we do this, when we specify the key, then what will happen, only the particular value of that key will be displayed in the output. Rest items will not be displayed in the output. Only whatever key we are passing, we are writing within the square bracket, only that key's value will be printed in the output. Like here we have written dict subject, so we know that subject key, the value of the key subject is informative practices, so that is displayed in the second line of the output. Now in the third line we have written dict dot get class. So here the get function is used for accessing the value of any particular key. Okay, whatever keys value we want, we can pass that. See, get is a function, it will take some parameters also. So we can pass that key as a parameter whose value you want to access in the dictionary within the get function. So here we have written dict dot get, and within the parentheses we have passed this class key as a parameter. So what it will do, it will access the value of the class key, it will display it as the output. So here now we have seen in the last line 11 is being printed, which is the value of the class key here. Okay, now iterating through a dictionary is again, it is very simple. Okay, it is a similar way like we have been doing in list, tuples and strings. What we are doing, we are just using one variable within the for loop, and we are using that variable using the in membership operator to access all the elements of the loop in the successive iterations. Okay, similarly what we are doing again here also, we are taking one variable, and that variable will iterate through the dictionary and will hold different values of the keys one at a time. What does it mean? That in the case of strings, lists and tuples, what were the single elements for their items? So what the iteration variable was holding every single item's value in a particular iteration. But here what is there? This dictionary consists of key value pairs. So what value will come for the, what value will the I variable hold here? What value will the iteration variable hold in the loop whenever we want to iterate through the dictionary? In the case of dictionary, this iteration variable, if you come here, we are naming it as I. This I variable will here hold the values of the keys one at a time. Okay, it will not hold the values it will not hold the values as its value, it will be holding the keys. Okay, so what we are doing here, this I will hold the values of the keys in the dictionary, sorry, it will hold the keys in the dictionary as its value. Okay, so for example here we are taking two we are taking subject and class as the keys here. Okay, this dictionary having two items here. Okay, now for what we are writing here, for I in dict, the I variable will hold what? First, for first iteration, it will hold the value subject. Subject means what? The key. This I variable is only holding the key. Okay, in every iteration. And how we are going to access the value of that particular key? By putting that variable within the square bracket, because that variable is holding the value of the that variable is holding the key. So if you specify within square bracket, then it will enable us to access the value of that particular key. Like for example, here we are using the variable I. So that I is variable is holding the key. The first key is subject here. It will hold, in the first iteration it will hold subject. So if you write here print dict I means what? You are actually writing dict subject. Here subject is the key which you are providing in the form of the variable within the square bracket. So what will happen in the output? It will print the value of that particular key. Okay, so here it will print, actually this output is having one error. Okay, so the first no, it's not an error. Why? Because it's not an error. Why? Because see, this one thing is to be remembered, dictionaries are unordered pairs, so there is no output which is defined. Okay, there is no specific order of the items. Any item could be accessed in any order. So this output is also possible, so it shouldn't be considered as an error. Okay, this I have this is done purposely. This output has been shown purposely to make you understand that dictionaries are not ordered. Okay, dictionaries are unordered sets of key value pairs. So these in the when you iterate through a dictionary, the keys could be accessed in any order. So here what is being done, the class key has been accessed prior to the subject key, although we have written subject key before, but the class key has been accessed by in the loop before the subject key. That is why in the output 11 is printed first, and then the value of the subject key is being printed in the next line. Okay, now updating dictionary elements. Okay, how we can update the dictionary elements? That individual elements of a dictionary could be updated by using the particular key within the square brackets, and then assigning the new value by using the assignment operator. Okay, like for example here the dict is a dictionary here. Here again we have the same, considering the same dictionary here which we have used in the previous example. What we are doing here, the subject is the key here which you want to change. Okay, so what will you write within we will write dict, and then within square bracket we will write the name of the key here. Okay, and then after that we will use the assignment operator, and whatever new value we want to assign, that we will specify on the right hand side of the assignment operator. Like previously the key's value was informatics practices, but now we want to assign the computer science as a value to the subject key. So what we are writing subject within the square brackets, and then using assignment operator you can assign the new value which is computer science here. okay, and then you can print that dictionary. So what will happen now, the value of subject key has been changed here. It has been changed from informatics practices to computer science. Okay, now deleting dictionary elements. Okay, so these there are three mainly there are three ways for deleting the dictionary elements, by either by using the del statement or by using the pop and the clear methods. So these statements are used for removing elements from the dictionary. So first of all, you can understand del by the example here. Okay, see dictionary is here, the same dictionary we have using here also. So first we are in the first print statement, we are printing that before deleting anything, so it will output the original dictionary only. Okay, in the first print statement, in the first line of the output. Then after that, what we are using the del statement. And what we are doing here in the firstly, we are deleting only the class, only the single element which is having the key class. Okay, so first of all, we want to delete the element. We want to delete the element or the item which is having the class as the key. That is where we are writing here del, then dict, and within square brackets class. So here we are specifying the specific element by specifying the key here. So only that element whose key we are specifying, only that item will be deleted. The rest elements of the dictionary will not be deleted. Only single element has been deleted here with the key class. Okay, then print you can print for checking that, you can print it the dictionary after deletion. So you can see that only once the subject key which is remaining is left. Okay, the class key has been deleted here. Okay, then again in the second delete statement, what we are writing a del dict. Del dict means what? Here we are specifying the name of the dictionary without specifying any particular key. So what will happen when you don't specify any particular key within the square bracket? We will just name the when we just specify the name of the dictionary after del statement, then it will delete the whole dictionary. Okay, the whole dictionary means all the elements of the dictionary will be deleted. Now if you want to print the dictionary by specifying the name here, what it will print? It will just print the type of the dictionary. It will not be able to print any value because all the values have been deleted by using the del statement here. Now pop method. Now pop method is used to remove a particular item in a dictionary. Clear method is also used to remove all elements of the dictionary. Okay, so what is the difference? Pop method is used for removing a particular item. Particular item means any single item of a dictionary, which we can specify by providing the class within the parenthesis. Sorry, by specifying the key within the parenthesis. Whatever key value whatever key you pass as a parameter within the parenthesis of the pop function, that key's value will be deleted. Okay, other values will be remained. But using the clear function, what is there in the clear function? We don't have to specify any key value or any key as the parameter. See, in the pop function, what we are doing, we are actually specifying a key as a parameter. So whatever key we are specifying, only the item pertaining to that key will be deleted. Okay, only that key's item will be deleted. All the other items will not be deleted. They will remain as it is. But when we are using the clear function with dict, then what will happen? All the elements of the dictionary will be deleted. All the elements of the dictionary will be removed. Okay, now see, for example, here first we have declared the dictionary. Here we have assigned two items in the dictionary. Then what we are doing, first we are printing the dictionary before deletion. Okay, then we are using dict.pop. What will dict.pop and do? Here we have passed the key class as a parameter to the pop function. What will it will do? It will remove the element with the key class. What it will do? It will remove the element which has the key as class. Okay, and that element you can also access in your program by assigning this value to some variable also. If you want to use the value anywhere in your program, that also you can use by assigning the value written by the pop function to any variable. Okay, then second method is by using the clear method. So what we are doing, first we are printing after deleting it by pop. You can check what element has been deleted. You can see that the class element has been deleted from the dictionary. Okay, then after that we are using the dictionary clear method. Okay, we are writing a dict.clear. What it will do, it will remove the remaining elements from the dictionary. Whatever elements are remaining in the dictionary, all those elements will be removed by using the clear method. Okay, so after clearing, what we can print here, we have printing after clear dict. So after clear, what will be printed? It will just print the empty dictionary with just the curly brackets. It means that everything within the dictionary has been removed. Okay, now we come on to some built-in dictionary functions. Okay, length, all of you know. The length function is used for what? It gives the total length of the dictionary. It is equal to the number of items in the dictionary. Here number of items means the number of key value pairs. So you shouldn't be confused between the concept of number of items in dictionary. Number of items means one item stands for one particular key value pair. Okay, the key and value pairs are not counted separately. Okay, one key value pair is counted as a single item. Okay, the number of items in a dictionary means number of key value pairs in a dictionary. Then str function here, as we have seen the case of other types also, here also str function, if you pass any dictionary within the str function, then what it will do, it will convert the printable string representation of a dictionary. It will convert the dictionary into a printable string representation. Okay, it will convert it into a string representation. Okay, now type function, again it is used for finding out or returning the type of the variable. Whatever is the type of the variable, that type will be returned. If you type a dictionary variable, if you pass a dictionary variable into the type function, then what it will do, if the variable is dictionary, then it will return the dictionary variable, the dictionary type as its output. Okay, if the variable is of any other type, then that type will be returned. If the variable is of a dictionary type, then it would return a dictionary type. Now some more functions here, the built-in dictionary methods. See, dict.clear, we have discussed, it will remove all elements in the dictionary. Now what is a dict.copy? Dict.copy method is used for returning a shallow copy of dictionary dict. Shallow copy means for whatever are the elements in the dictionary, all those elements will be copied and a new dictionary will be created. Okay, all those elements are copied. In shallow copy means what? We are copying all the elements of the dictionary and we are creating a new dictionary. With the all the original elements will be copied in a new dictionary and it will create a new dictionary in itself. Okay, so shallow copy means what? We are not creating a reference to the previous dictionary. We are not here creating a reference to the original dictionary. Okay, shallow copy means what? You are copying all the elements of the dictionary and you are creating a new dictionary by using the elements of the previous dictionary. So if you want to modify the copy, if you want to modify any element in the shallow copy, then what will happen? The original dictionary elements will not be modified. They will remain as it is. This is the difference between shallow copy and the actual copy. Okay, actual copy means what? If you want to assign, if you are assigning any, if you like, for example, if you are writing dict is equal to some dictionary, and again we are writing dict 1 is equal to the same dictionary, then what will happen? We are just creating a new reference to the previous dictionary. But that this is not in the case of shallow copy. Shallow copy means what? By using the values of one copy of one dictionary, we are creating the new dictionary. Okay, and that if you modify the new dictionary, then the values in the original dictionary will remain unchanged. Any changes, if are made, if any changes are made in the shallow copy, then those changes will not be reflected in the original dictionary. Now dict.items, what does it do? It returns a list of dictionaries key value tuple pairs. Dict.items will return a list of dictionaries key value tuple pairs. Actually this key value pair is itself a tuple, so it will create a list of, it will return a list of all those key value pairs. Okay, now dict.keys, what it will do, it will just return a list of dictionaries keys. Okay, here values will not be returned, just the keys will be returned by using the keys function. Now dict.setDefault, this set default method is used to, is very similar to get means what? Like get method is used to retrieve a keys value from a dictionary. Here also we can use it to retrieve or access the value of a key. Okay, but what will happen if that key is not present in the dictionary? Then it is also used for setting that key's value to some default value. If the key is not already present in dictionary, then what will happen? That key's value will be, that key will be added to the dictionary. First of all, that this set default value, this set default method will add that key to the dictionary. If it is not already present in the dictionary, then it will add that key to the key to the dictionary, and that add key, after addition, that key's value will be set to some default value. Okay, so that default value is optional. If you want, we can specify some default value as a second argument to the set default function. But if you don't want to specify any value as a second argument, as a second parameter, as a default parameter to the set default function, then what will happen? If you don't specify any default value, then by default none is the value. None value will be none. You know, all of you know that none is a special type of data type which is used for specify the absence of any value. Okay, if you don't specify any default value, then the default value, then none will be set as the default value for that particular key. That key, if the key is not present in the dictionary, then that key will be first added. First of all, that key will be added to the dictionary, and then none will be the default value which will be set for the keys. None will be the default value which will be set as the keys value in the dictionary. So what does the set default function do? Set default function is used to access the value of a particular key in the dictionary, and if that key is not already present in the dictionary, then it will add that key into the dictionary, and then that key's value will be set to the default value. If the default value is not specified, then none is the default value by default. that key's value will be set to the none data type. Okay, that default value is none. Now we come on to the update function. See, update function is used for adding the value of dict2 or any dictionary. See, what is actually in the update function? We have to pass one dictionary as an parameter to the update function. Okay, whenever we are using the update function, we always have to pass one dictionary as an parameter to the update function. What will that update function do? Whatever dictionary is passed as a parameter to the update function, that dictionary will be added to the dictionary with which we are using the update function. Like for example, here dict is one dictionary and we are using here dict dot update dict2. So here dict2 is one dictionary which has been passed as a parameter to the update function. So what will that update function do? It will add the dictionary 2 to the it will add the dictionary 2's keys value pairs to the dictionary dict. So dict is the dictionary with which we are using the update function, and a dict with which dictionary we are using the update function. We are using the update function with the dict dictionary. Okay, but we are passing the dict2 function. We are passing the dict2 dictionary as an argument or parameter to the update function. So how will update function work? This update function will add the dictionary dict2's key value pairs to the original dictionary, which is dict2. So to the original dictionary, which is dict in this case. So dict is the original dictionary. We are using the update function on dict dictionary. So what will it, how will it work? It will add the dict2 dictionary's keys value pairs to the dict dictionary. Okay. So if there are two dictionaries, one is dict and one is dict2, if you use the update function, then you have to pass dict2 to the update function as a parameter. So update function will add the key value pairs of dict2 to the dict dictionary. Okay. Now dict dot values again is very simple. It will return a list of dictionaries dict values. Okay. All the values which are present in the dict dictionary, it will all those values will be returned as a list by the values function. The values function will return a list of the values of the dictionary dict. Okay. So now we come on to, so now with this we have completed all the topics, all the major topics of your chapter 1, which was a review of Python basics. Now we have already revised whatever we have studied in your class 11 syllabus, but this is a very important part of your this year's syllabus also. That is why I have tried to cover all these topics in great detail. Okay, as I have to try to discuss it in as much detail as was possible. So, but I will advise all of you to go through all the chapters in your previous book. Okay, I will also be uploading some assignment questions to you all, which you all have to write in your notebook. Okay, and I will advise you to revise all the topics properly from your book. Also, go through the videos. If you find any problem, then you can ask. You can post your questions in the WhatsApp session. Okay. In the next video, we will starting with the second chapter, which will be functions in Python. So till then, goodbye and thank you.